So tell me about how you got into special effects. Where did it all begin for you?
Well, I think like most people of my generation, at least, that's working in the business right now, I fell in love with filmmaking when I was a child, watching science fiction movies, horror movies, movies like The Thing, American Werewolf in London. I felt like at a young age that it was filmmaking that I wanted to do, and as I started getting older and sort of working through how films were made and the fact that there was many different aspects to it, I realized that the path that I was sort of attracted to was the monster making. And it just sort of went from there. I grew up sculpting, painting, finding as much information as I could on the process, and sort of taught myself how to do what I do now.
So at the ripe old age of 30, you were nominated for your first Oscar.
Yes, for the work that I did on Passion of the Christ. When I first got the script, I was told that it was going to be all in Aramaic with no subtitles. So, you sort of approach it as the modern day silent film in a way, because nobody's going to understand what they're saying. There's not going to be any interpretation with the subtitles. And it's going to strictly, rely on the visuals.
You had that scourging scene that you had to do all of the makeup for. How long does that take? Putting it on and then taking it off at the end of the day. How many hours?
The scourging scene took approximately 4 to 5 hours every day, I would say, on the average. Some days we could do a little faster, some days it took a little longer depending on our energy level. If we were doing the full body, the crucifixion that everybody sees without his robe, we would spend the first 2 or 3 hours just applying the makeup to the body. And then we would spend an additional hour and a half, doing his face, his beard, and his hair work.
I read an article recently about you doing makeup for Rick Baker, who is a legend in makeup effects in Hollywood. How is that?
I did have an opportunity to work with Rick Baker as well as apply his makeup, which, for a fan like myself of Rick Baker, as most makeup artists are, was, a dream come true. I remember thinking to myself, okay, I'm very nervous. If I can do this, there's nothing else in this business I think that's going to make me any more nervous. There's not an actor I can think of, there's not a situation I can be put in where I'm more terrified about doing this kind of makeup. And, it went off really nicely.